Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid. Google Forms now accepts payment.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the wet grounds of Colonel Samuel Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario. It is day number 5 of the AFL Transatlantic Cup 2024. It's the women's turn to the spotlight today as Team Canada, the host Northern Lights, are in white today with red shorts. They will be battling the French women who are in red with blue shorts. I'm Patrick McNeil, joined by David Smith for another great day of Australian football action.
Absolutely, the third round for the women, the last game of the pool games for both these teams. Canada 1-1 and France 0-2. Let's go over the women's standings. Great Britain currently on top with 2 wins. The U.S., Ireland, Canada, and Colombia, all with a win and a loss, though definitely some different percentages there. And as I say, France is 0-2 and in 6th place on the women's standings.
Yeah, must-win territory for France. Of course, those standings are brought to you by Vision Glass Toronto, for they are your GTA exotic car experts with auto glass, convertible tops, and sunroofs as well. You can visit, easy for me to say, VisionGlassToronto.com. So again, must-win for France. A reminder as well that all the teams from the Americas pool taking on all the teams from the European pool, Group A, Group B, if you will. Taking a look at the players to watch for today's game. Who do we have here today, David?
So Nicole Robertson, forward wearing number 1 for Canada. She plays for the Calgary Kookaburras. For France, it's a defender, number 33, Mathilde Tillet. And she plays for the Cambodian Eagles. Oh. Well-traveled woman. Take a look at the keys of the game for Team Canada. They don't want to take the French lightly. They want to use their squad depth. Of course, it is a long tournament. They want to keep up the work rate, keep the pace up out there. For France, they're working on their transition game. Of course, still newcomers to the footy scene. They want to take the game on and learn from every mistake, even if they don't win this contest. It's a learning experience for them because, again, it is their international debut. Certainly keys for both these teams will dealing with the elements. We haven't had this continuous rain on any of the days here so far in the tournament. We've had a little bit of rain, some spotty rain, but this is pretty heavy rain here this morning at Humber College. Definitely the most wet conditions we've seen, so we'll see how the women deal with that today. But they all seem game for today's action. The 36 women that are out there to start this contest. Canada will be kicking it towards Toronto. France kicking towards the Mississauga end, and you absolutely should visit Mississauga.ca, tournament hotel and transit partner for this tournament. Ball is about to go up to start this game. David Smith will begin describing the action. Here's a ball up here, first quarter of the Canada-France game. Must win for both these teams, really. Ball on the ground. A lot of players around the ball, midfield still. It's coming towards us at their live broadcast position. Ball moving very slowly, lots of players around the ball. That is Holinski with the ball, but the umpire says, now it's mine. Yeah, Freddie Michon with the first tackle of the game for France, who takes possession. Short kick, don't know if that'll be the required 15. Umpire says play on. You do have to kick it 15 meters, but you don't lose possession. If you make a short kick, the ball just goes into the hands and the game keeps going on. Ball going towards the France forward 50, but Canada is going to deny that shallow entry. Ball comes up in the air, and that is going to go to the required 15, as that is Lise Kiefer with the mark. She has the ball on the left side, kicks it up the wall, and another clean mark for Canada. That's what they're going to look to do. Link teammates up the field, as that is Julie Patricio, and she'll wind up the kick. Up in the air it goes, and a nice clean intercept mark for Team France, courtesy of Manon Yanin. France trying to get it down to the midfield. Short kick, and there's another intercept mark, so we're playing a bit of ping-pong football here. That was Gaillard. Gets it away, gets it back, tackled. Canada picks it up. Just a scrubby old kick towards the forward arc. Picked up by number 19, Patricio. There's a battle. That's Hussein for Canada, but that's a free kick given to France. And they'll be able to clear out of their end of the field.
Yeah, thus far the marking has actually been better on the defensive side of the ball. That wasn't the case there. Short kick. Don't know if that would have gone the 15. Doesn't matter because it's not cleanly converted anyway. Again, France in the red jumpers, Canada in white jumpers. As we will get another ball up again. No prior opportunity if you're new to Australian football. If you have the ball, if you're tackled immediately, the ball goes up. If you have some time and you decide not to get rid of it, then the other team earns a free kick. Tap is won by France as the ball goes somewhat towards the middle of the field. It is picked up briefly by Michon. He's had a couple of hands on the ball already today, but it's going to be free kick Canada.
Certainly in the conditions, it's going to be harder to get clean marks and clean handballs away. Wet conditions makes everything harder in terms of footy. That's Patricio going towards the forward 50. Here is Hussein to Robertson, one of the players to watch. Kick towards the pocket. Ball bouncing on the ground. Can Canada gain possession in the pocket? Going towards the boundary. Canada now gains possession. There's a kick and a miss. Ball bouncing around. Lots of players around the ball, and here's a free kick given to France. So that will relieve the pressure for the Gaulois.
Ball on the left side of the boundary. The Canadian and French women battling along the ground. Will be picked up by French hands. Want to remind those watching that in the women's competition in this tournament, the quarters are 17 and a half minutes, and I don't know if the scoreboard was updated to reflect that, so we'll see if we can get that fixed for you. So we're a little bit deeper in as Lacey Bellefontaine of the Sydney Giants will boot that ball. Boots it to a clean mark for Team Canada as Nicole Robertson has an opportunity now. She'll back up. Nicole Robertson, we mentioned one of the keys to the game to watch for Team Canada. She's from about 45 meters out. We may have an injury here. One of the French women looked like she was down, but is coming to her feet, which is good. That is what we want to see. And again, when they play on, it'll be a free kick for Robertson. So again, we'll work on getting the time rectified for you, but there is still no score on the Payable app scoreboard.
Free kick here for Canada. Up and away towards, will it make it? It doesn't, off hands. Right in the goal square. Lots of players around the ball. There's a whistle. And looks like ball being given to number 7. Hussein, who kicks it. They're about to kick it. This should be a good opportunity for Canada. It's up and away. And they like it. There's the first goal for Canada in this game. Hussein with the goal for Canada.
Yeah, probably not going to miss from there for Team Canada as Philson Hussein plays for the Ottawa Swans, making her international debut. Played some rugby as well. Was looking to start a rugby club, and actually she discovered a superior sport, in my very not biased opinion, Australian football, and she helps put Canada up 1 goal, no behinds, 2, no score, France on your Payable Apps scoreboard. Payable Apps is a tournament title sponsor, helping sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons, payment solutions company that provides various add-ons, allowing payment to be made via credit card inside of a Google form or Google Sheets. PayableApps.com. We do have the correct score on the screen as well as the correct time. David Smith has the center bounce.
There's another throw up, so Canada gets first blood. Also gets hand on the ball off the ruck contest, but can they gain possession? Lots of ball on the ground, which you're going to see a lot more in wet conditions, so expect to see a bit scrappier play, particularly in the midfield. That ball goes over everybody's heads. Just outside the arc. Hussein after the ball. Handball by France, though, goes a bit awry. Several Canadians, including Hussein, still going for it. Here is Patricio. That kick goes a bit awry and over the boundary, so that will be a boundary throw in the Canadian forward pocket. Let's see if they can gain possession here. Still a good opportunity for Canada in the correct end, in the Toronto end of this field.
Yeah, key opportunity for Canada, already leading 1-0-0-0 on the Payable app scoreboard. Canada up 6-0. Hands are up there in the goal square. Opportunity to soccer that for Robertson. And the ball, did that make its way over? And it did. That's goal for Canada. I'm not sure if it'll be Robertson that's credited for that. That was a sort of the hockey goal mouth scrum goal, Team Canada. And you talked about it, David. You're going to see those types of goals in this game. It was funny, but to begin the game, we saw some good, clean marking, albeit mostly by opposing players. And now the game is going to the ground, as you predicted would happen.
Absolutely. Even in front, sometimes you're just going to have to soccer the ball in hope. And it looks like that's what gave them goal number 2 for Canada. So good start for Canada as we're just under 11 minutes to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah. Center clearance is won by the Canadians. Again, the Canadians kicking to Toronto. France kicking to the visitmississauga.ca end as a ball on the ground. Again, it's France in the red jumpers, Canada in the white jumpers, Canada in red shorts. As we get some congestion, again, we're going to see a lot of that today. And looking at the forecast, no Frankie McDonald, but my amateur meteorology tells me it is expected to be rainy the rest of the day. Ball gets thrown up, and Team France will get hands on it. Ball on the ground again, and who is going to be getting there? And, of course, even those of us who played footy at a very, very low level can tell you it is very tough to pick up the ball. Actually, tougher if you're a low-level footy player. Ball kicked towards the inside 50, and that looked like it might have been an intercept mark, but it was not, as Jacqueline Halliday couldn't complete it. But she stays on the ball to complete a tackle. No priors to the ball. Keeps alive, and play keeps going on. And it looks like a bit of a rugby scrum there, and the Canadian player is taken down.
France first foray into the visit Mississauga.ca end. They're certainly hoping to explore that end, and Mississauga is yours to explore. Ball now bouncing on the ground. Lots of battles here in this game. France certainly showing some good spirit. Caroline Duke there on the ball for Canada. And it looks like she's won a free kick. So this will get it out of danger for Canada, at least temporarily. Kick down the wing. Good kick, but finds grass. There's a whistle. And this is going to be another free kick to Canada. Number 22, Leonard Gallard. She goes, kicks through midfield. Again, finds grass, but it's going in the right direction for Canada. Can they pick it up? Defended there by Gauthier. Picked up by Merrigan. Several players around the ball, including Gauthier for France. It comes out. It comes out to Canada. There's a nice handball. So a run, it kicked towards goal. It goes a little bit right, and that will be Canada's first behind in this game.
Yeah, it's the Ottawa Swan, Amanda Irwin, who had the handball from Lacey Bellefontaine, and Irwin was able to put that through for a minor score. Payable app scoreboard shows 2-1-13 Canada, no score for France. This is payableapps.com. As, of course, they'll be also providing us with the mark and goal of the tournament, so we'll be letting you know when we think a play qualifies. Tough for players perhaps to complete a mark or goal of the tournament in these wet conditions, but we know the women are going to try their best today. Ball goes bouncing in the French defensive 50, and that is booted out of play. It looks like that was the French captain, Clotilde Decoux, of the Bayonne Tarauders in the ruck that put that out of play. So that will lead to a kick for Canada.
Free kick for Canada from the pocket. That is Kiefer, and there's a nice mark in front of goal, and that is Robertson. Already scored some goals here in this tournament. Sees if she can add to her total. Just about 7.5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Canada leads 13-0, hoping to add to that lead here. Here's a kick. That looks straight through the middle, and she likes it. She should. It's the third goal for Canada.
Yeah, gorgeous kick there from Nicole Robertson. High up in the air. Nobody from Team France was getting that. That changes our Payable app scoreboard to 3-1-19 Canada. No score for France. And we were debating as to whether or not Robertson got her foot on that first Canadian goal, or second Canadian goal, I should say. We know she has that one, and we talked about that in the pregame. A key player to watch for Canada. The French don't have any answer for the Canadian forwards, at least thus far.
Great choice by whoever chose the key players here. One of the things, you looked at was in this game was after two very emotional games, whether they could have a good start and get that energy level, and it looks like Canada has done that so far in this one. That's off of the Ruck's hands. Ball again on the ground. Going to see that a lot here in the wet conditions. Ball bouncing. In there is Kiefer. Several other players. Gets it away. Ball on the ground. Lots of kicks. And there's a bit of a soccer. Looking like World Cup going on. Well, that tackle's not very World Cup-like. Lots of players around. And the umpire says, I've had enough. And here gives a free kick for Canada. So this will be another opportunity to go in the right direction for Canada.
I was going to make a Canadian women's soccer comparison, but I don't see that drone that we saw earlier this week flying around the field.
I've seen no drones here today.
There's a kick along at the right side of the field. Bellefontaine is trying to go after. Of course, we'll say her name a little bit more. A bit of Sydney Giants bias there on our behalf, perhaps. She handballs it out the back, and it comes back to Gabrielle Bureau as they work along the right side of the field. Canada looking for a forward 50 entry. And Robertson had hands up again. She's been all over the ball here. Perhaps a clean break towards the goal. Kick through. And that is going to be goal for Canada. Canada moves 4 goals, 1 behind, 25-0 on the scoreboard. Looks like that may have been Leonard Gaillard.
And if it was Gaillard, she's from the Burnaby Eagles from Squamish, British Columbia. Her international debut was the 2023 Parallel Cup. So relatively newcomer to international footy, but gets a goal here.
And born in France. So familiar with some of the last names she's playing against today.
Well.
There's always a storyline for us commentators.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just have to go digging.
So the rain getting heavier here, I think. So here we go. Canada with the 4-goal, 1 behind lead. Ball up. Off the hands of Kleinbub. Ball pops out there. France kicks it towards the Visit Mississauga end. Being chased down. Canada, though, gains control. Bit of a don't argue. Here's the ball towards being chased by Gaillard. Ball on the ground. Robertson also there. France, just big tackle there to keep the ball in the Canada forward end. Ball up. Canada comes away with it. Kick towards goal, and that went left. And that will be Canada's second behind of the game.
Yeah, I believe it was Amanda Irwin with both behinds for Team Canada, so she'll register another minor score, 4-2-26, no score France on the Payable Apps scoreboard, as took a bit of a delay there for the umpire to wave the flag, and the umpires are all coated up today trying to beat the wind. And shout out to the water carriers as well. They're in the regular uniforms just like the players, so they're enduring the elements also. As mark completed by the French in the defensive 50, as that was Menon Yanin. And kick up the quarter. A bit of a risky kick, perhaps. Team Canada now with it. Irwin's got another opportunity. Can she get her first major score? No, the ball will go dribbling. And that will that go offline, or is that going to be another behind? And Amanda Irwin has a hat trick of behinds here in this first quarter as 4-3-27. No score for France.
Doing the kick in will be Orlaine Lecauer for France as they try to clear it out. It's been locked into the defensive 50 for France for a little while here, which is what Canada wants, of course. Kick up, a bunch of players around. Nice tackle there by Hussein. And will she be rewarded? It looks like she will.
Hussein had a goal earlier and now earns herself a free kick. Obviously a factor. Nice handball option for Team Canada. Boot is looking good. It goes up and it ends up going off hands. And I think that might end up registering. It will end up registering a minor score. I believe that was the Team Canada captain, Anna Brancati, that was booting that through.
It may have gone off the post, but whatever. It is another behind for Canada. But scoreboard, the Payable App scoreboard still looking good for Canada. 4 goals, 4 behinds, 28 points. No score for France. That kick really doesn't go very far. Canada locking it in the forward 50 for Canada. That's going towards the boundary line, but doesn't make it. Picked up by Brancati. Brancati kicked on the ground. French defense finally clears through the hands of Holinski, chasing it down. Now Canada picks it up. Here is Holiday, and there's another whistle. And this will be a free kick to Canada, and it'll go to Halliday. Halliday of the Hamilton Wildcats. And another whistle, so ball coming back. Give it to the wrong player, perhaps. This will be number 23, Roxanne Besner of the Quebec Saints. She kicks towards the forward 50, and there's a nice mark. That is, I believe, Gaillard. Yep. And there's a 50-meter penalty, so this will be another opportunity for Canada's 5th goal. Gaillard will be very close to the goal here, so it won't. Should be a pretty easy kick for goal. Directly on. Gaillard already kicked a goal in this game. About 15 meters out. Here's the kick. Oh, that goes well right, and that will be a behind.
4 goals, 5 behinds, 29 Canada. No score for France on the Payable Apps scoreboard. Visit payableapps.com, one of the main sponsors of this tournament. We've seen some of the action on the side of the eThere Live broadcast location. One of the great things about that, Australian football, you can hear the players barking out their teammates' names and whatnot. It's a voice key in this game as France trying to clear out of their own 50, and good hands there by Gaillard, and the horn will blast to signal an end of the first quarter as Team Canada finds himself out in front. Now, I thought they had credited it behind. The scoreboard on the field shows 4-5 Canada, 29, no score for France.
Canada did what they had to do in that first quarter. They kept it in their forward end. Had more of the possession, and certainly they don't want any heart-stopping games. They've had enough of those already in the pool games, so certainly they would be happy, I would think, with that first quarter.
Yeah, no question about that. I would say happy with how they're faring in these wet conditions. So again, we are through 1 quarter of play here. Colonel Samuel Smith Park, Canada, 4-5, 29, no score for the French. You're watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, produced by eThere Live, broadcast on YouTube, courtesy of AFL Canada.
Aussie Rules the World podcast is a podcast dedicated to bringing our listeners information from international Aussie rules, from news, reports, reviews, and interviews from people dedicated to building Aussie rules internationally. During the Transatlantic Cup, World Footy Shorts will be bringing you daily updates from what's happened from the games and around the event. And this is Aussie Rules the World podcast.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
On the campus of Humber College in Toronto, where you're watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, produced by eThere Live, broadcast on the AFL Canada YouTube channel. Team Canada with a lead in women's action here, 4-5, 29, no score for the French. David Smith, tell us about what went down in that first quarter.
So Nicole Robertson, the leading goal kicker for Canada in this tournament and in this game with her third and fourth goals of the tournament. She has 2 in this one. Also Filson Hussein and Leo Gaillard with singles in that first quarter. And that's 4 of the 4 goals they got, and the 4 goals, 5 behinds, 29 points for Canada. So a good first quarter for Canada. And we'll see if they can keep that up here in the second quarter.
Ball going to go up again. The teams will switch ends as is customary, as Canada will now be kicking towards visitmississauga.ca and France will kick towards Toronto. So Canada will want to visit Mississauga as much as they visited Toronto in that first quarter. Ball is on the ground, and we have our first whistle of this quarter. And again, the 17.5-minute quarters in the women's competition. And we're just getting going with this one. Roxanne Besner will handball it to the veteran Carolyn Leduc, who's playing a little more back than she usually does. She was telling us about that yesterday. She'll kick it out to the forward 50. Hands are up. Attempted mark there for Team Canada. Good protection there by Lacey Bellefontaine to open up some space for the Canadians. Ball on the ground. We're seeing a lot of that again due to the wet conditions David spoke of earlier. You can probably see the rain thanks to the great production here by our There Live production crew. And I think we're going to get a ball up here about 45 seconds into the quarter.
Lots of players around the ball. Carter Merrigan, Kleinbub as well for Canada. But France comes off with the ball off of the ball up. But again, it's held up. And the umpire will say, it's mine. I'm going to throw it up. Canada probably doesn't mind a little bit of stoppages here, because certainly they've had 2 really intense games. So umpire again will say it's mine. Ball not really moving very much, but it is in the visitmississauga.can. That's the end that Canada wants in this quarter.
Yeah, they want to explore Mississauga in this second quarter, and the ball is along the ground, and another whistle, and you're going to see a lot of that bit more disjointed play due to the conditions that gets to be less pretty, perhaps, in terms of the footy being played. That is Marlena Holinsky of the Burnaby Eagles with the ball in her possession. Kicked to a mark, and that is, once again, Nicole Robertson causing havoc for the French defenders. She's going to back up nicely to get herself a good angle, see if she can get that 3rd goal of the game for Canada.
Cole Robertson seeing if she can get her 5th of the tournament. And to use a hockey term, a hat trick here in the first half. So we'll run up. The kick looks to be a bit left, and indeed it is. That will be Canada's 6th behind. It does get them to 30 points on the Payable app's scoreboard.
Yeah, 6 behind, just as good as a goal. 4-6-30 for Canada. No score for the French as we are in the early stages of the second quarter. Day 5 and the final day of round-robin action for the women at the 2024 Transatlantic Cup. Ball goes up in the air. Team Canada in possession. Handball as the footsteps were being heard, so it's time to get rid of the ball. And there's a kick into the forward 54 Team Canada. Ball bouncing around the ground. Robertson's at it again. She's been in every contest in that forward 50 for Canada as the ball dribbling. Who's going to get it? Which of the French women is going to be able to move on it? Good physicality there by the Canadians, trying to open up some space. Space hard to come by here in this part of the field at the moment. Ball will come up, and that is going to be marked by the captain, Anna Brancati, for Canada.
Brancati with the nice mark. Certainly needed. There's a kick off French hands. It bounces. There's a tackle by Baker, I believe. There's a kick towards goal, but that will be well right and will go over the boundary line. 4 boundary throw in. Canada forward pocket. Canada leading by 30 points here in the second quarter. Good start for Canada. Certainly didn't want any heart-stopping games here today. That bounces on the ground. No one's able to pick it off the ruck. Picked up by the French defense. That's chasing after it is Besner. On the ground again. You'll see that again. You'll see that a lot in rainy conditions. Tough to get a hold of, so the ball ends up on the ground a lot.
Yeah, more of a ground game for sure. Ruck contest is going to initially be won by the French. Good ball protection there. Ball goes skyward like the planes are coming from Pearson. You hear in the background as it's kicked out of the defensive 50. And we are pretty close to the airport, so you will hear that aviation traffic roaring by occasionally as there is a tackle by the Canadians. And I don't know if there was any prior there, so we'll see whose ball it is. It's the umpire who will take the ball. And it will go up into the air. Who's going to win this ruck contest? It'll be tapped to the side by Team France as Manon Yanin, who's been one of the better French players for my money in this game so far, has been able to get into the contest, and Yanin will get the ball again for a free kick.
Janine trying to relieve the pressure of France. They've certainly seen the defensive end a lot so far in this game. Kick towards the midfield, but right into Canadian hands. So that's going to come right back. Kick towards the wing. Can't mark that off hands. Chasing it is Helinski. Picked up by Helinski. That kick, she's bumped as she's kicked, and I believe that's out in the full and will be a free kick for France in their defensive pocket.
And good use of the shoulders there by Helinski, but it is France that gets the kick in the defensive side of the field, kicked out towards, and once again, it's Yanin, who seems like a lot of the attempt breakout from the defensive end running through her at the moment. Handball option executed, and it's kicked. Didn't get everything she wanted on that, and it's going to come into the hands of Hussein, who's had some opportunity for Canada in this contest. France trying to push it down the left side of the field. Ball goes bouncing, and it comes onto Canadian hands. It's a handball towards the middle. Good chain link there by Canada. Nice candy sold there as it's kicked out towards the forward 50. What a sequence for Canada, but the mark not completed. Canadians still have it on, though. Nice ball protection by the French Tele as Canada tries to get it back. They'll do so in the forward 50. Handballed towards the goal square, as the ball will just squeak out of play as Patricio was trying to get her hands on it, but again, tough to do in the rain.
Still going in the right direction for Canada in the right end of the field. They'll be pretty happy with this. Just over 11 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Boundary throw in. Canadian forward pocket. It's up and away. It goes pretty far. Can Canada pick it up? That handball to Merrigan. Doesn't go far enough. That's on the ground. It's bouncing, and it goes through the behind and goalposts for behind number 7 for Canada. That will be Canada 4 goals, 7 behind, 31 points. No score for Canada on the Payable app scoreboard.
Yeah, Canada leading 31-0. Final round robin contest for both of these games. Canada certainly wants to win to not chance things because all the teams have won at least one game in this North American pool of women as the ball on the ground. And
North and South America.
Yes, correct. The Americas, correct.
The Americas.
No apologies to the Slights for our Colombian friends who will be in action later today, of course, as we have a free kick for the French in their defensive 50.
See if they can finally clear it out. It's hardly gone past midfield here towards the French end in this quarter, and that one certainly not getting by, as this is a free kick, or a mark and a free kick for Canada. That's a high one going towards the forward 50. Pack of players off hands. Canada tries to pick it up. Can they add to their lead? Ball on the ground again. That'll happen a lot in these conditions. Pack of players. France defending hard. There's Irwin ready for the mark if they can get it. Still just a pack of players. France tries to pick it up, but there's a tackle, and the umpire will say, it's my turn to throw it up, and we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, no opportunity or time for France to get rid of the ball. Relentless Canadian pressure here in the forward 50. Ball is along the ground, and it's kicked up. Hands are up for the French. Good smother, and take 2 for Team Canada. That is booted through, and I think that's going to be counting as a goal. Which Canadian player got the boot up?
Amanda Irwin gets the kick there, and looks like, yes, it's a goal for Irwin. So that'll be goal number 5 for Canada. On the Payable app scoreboard, it's 5 goals, 7 behind, 37 points for Canada. No score for France.
Yeah, redemption for Amanda Irwin, who was kicking those behinds in the first quarter, now has found a way to kick it through the goal square as Team Canada again 5-7-37. No score for France. We have 8:30 left here in this second quarter play. Roughly, the timing on the clock may not exactly mirror what we have on the umpire, but again, Canada in the lead.
As fantastic Brian Barish just let me know, that's Amanda Irwin's 3rd goal of the tournament. So a hat trick for the tournament for her. Canada again going towards their forward 50. Certainly been a good first half so far for Canada. They've done what they've wanted to do, but France finally getting towards in their end of the field. Ball bouncing around. Kick towards the visit Mississauga.ca and picked up by Leduc. That, another kick at goal, but that will be way wide, and that will be no score. Did it go out on the full? I believe it did. No, it'll be a boundary throw-in. Nope, free kick for France. It's on the far end of from our There Live broadcast position, so it's tough to see where the ball bounced. But yes, indeed, this will be a free kick for France. Kick up the kick half up the middle. That was a little dangerous. France trying to clear. They've had to do a lot of defending here in this first half of the game. Just a little toe poke. Canada kicks it and thought that was a mark, but it wasn't. Canada picks it up. Here's a high kick towards goal. Doesn't get there. Chasing after it is Bellefontaine. Pushing off players. That kick goes wide, and that will be a behind.
Yep, behind for Lacey Bellefontaine of the Sydney Giants. 5-8 Canada, no score France. As we have 6.5 to go here in this second quarterfinal round robin day. And again, the Canadians, the USA and Colombia in the American pool. France, Great Britain, and Ireland in the European pool. You play the teams in the opposing geographical region. As Franny Michon with the mark for France, who's still looking for their first inside 50 of this second quarter. As ball marching towards the midfield, or actually still a defensive 50 situation, but the players setting up here. And the play kind of grinds to a halt as big boot there by the French player along the right side as Canada with a 38-0 edge. Ball to the ground and a lot of congestion as we've seen. And it's freed by the handball. Canada takes it and it's going to be booted into the forward 50. Up it goes off the ground as Canadian hands are trying to reach down to clear the ball into a scoring position. 5.5 to go here, and we have a stoppage in the action. The player is not able to decide it, so the umpire will take the ball.
Been a lot of those so far here in the second quarter, but again, not surprising given the conditions. Canada gets control there. That's off hands, and it just rolls through for another behind. So that will be the 9th behind for Canada. 5 goals, 9 behinds, 39 points. France no score on the Payable Apps scoreboard.
Yeah, France still looking for their first score. Of course, this is their first foray into international competition on the women's side, making their debut. Intercept mark by Lacey Bellefontaine. And she'll use the handball option, and it's booted there by Team Canada's Anna Brancati. And I think that was offline. Did that go through the behind posts, or did that not register at all? I don't think it registered at all. I don't see the flags coming out for the umpire, so no score on the play.
France will try to clear it out of the visit Mississauga.ca end. It's seen a lot of play here in the second quarter. Bellefontaine goes for the mark, but it's spoiled. Cleared out by France. Canada, though, still working hard. In there is Brancati, as you would expect. Brings it out. Kicks it towards the boundary. It bounces and goes over. Just outside the forward 50 arc for Canada. And I believe a free kick has been given to France, so that must have been determined to be deliberate. France kicks it on the wing. Off a Canadian hand. That was Baker. Ball squeezes out for Besner. She's going for a bit of a run. Haven't seen a lot of that in this game. Ball going towards the goals. French defense holding right now on the ground again. Bellefontaine working hard. Here's Besner again. It's in her hands and then goes out. Here is ball has determined to go over the line. It should be boundary throw-in in the Canadian forward pocket.
It is a boundary throw-in, 3:20 to go here in quarter number 2. Team Canada up 5-9, 39, no score France at the Payable Apps scoreboard. PayableApps.com. as it is a boundary throw in, and it'll be dribbling along in the forward 54 Team Canada. Looks like it's inside that 50-meter mark. Anyway, those lines might get erased with the rain that we see here today at Humber College. And it's expected to be wet all day, I do believe. Definitely the wettest day of competition we've had so far. Team France with a free kick. And 39-0 final round robin game for both of these teams. It's game 1 of 3 games today. And this women's action at the Transatlantic Cup, kick through the corridor by Team France. And it's going to be an intercept mark for Team Canada, completed nicely there by Nicole Baker, the Toronto Central Blues, who's certainly very familiar with this field, playing here with her club team.
It could be a payable at mark of the tournament. Ball on the ground again. Just to the right of us here at the eThere Live broadcast position. And this is a free kick for to France. You can see the number. Handball to Deco. Just a little squibbler on the ground. And there's a tackle and a whistle. She was deemed to have prior, so France gets the free kick. Relieving a little pressure here. They've had to defend a lot, so nice for them to be have the ball in the midfield. Certainly been in the defensive 50 a lot here in this first half. Ball on the ground, lots of players around. There's a bit of a tackle. Canadian player a little worse for wear after that one. And a stoppage here briefly.
Yeah, we're waiting to see, and it looks like the umpire stopped time. And if you've been ducking in and out of this tournament, these tournaments are conducted time on, so 20-minute quarters for the men, 17.5 for the women. But if the umpire deems there is a serious injury, they can halt the play. And that is a Canadian player. The good news here is we see her walking off the field, both of her feet to this. Might have been a minor sting. You watch in a situation like this to see where the player exit the fields. If they exit through the interchange gates, then they're eligible to return, and that is going to be the case here. So that's good news for all involved. Play continues as the French will have an opportunity to pick the ball up off the ground. It's a handball across the left side, and another live handball by Team Canada looking to push towards and visit Mississauga.ca. It is yours to explore. Canada has been exploring that quite a bit in this second quarter.
The player with the injury is Abby Clark of the Hamilton Wildcats. Wish her all the best. Hopefully she'll be back into this game before the end of it. Into the last minute here in the second quarter. Canada leads by 39. 39-0 on the Payable app scoreboard. It's a downfield.
It's a holding against Canada.
Free kick. So this will be a free kick for France. At least gets it out of their defensive 50. They've seen a lot of it in this quarter, as we've been talking about. That's off hands. France picks it up. There's a nice tackle. Right in front of us here at the eThere Live broadcast position. Diving into his bureau. Picked up by Anna Brancati. But there's the horn to finish this second quarter, this first half, as Canada has the 39-point lead. 5 goals, 9 behinds. No score for France on the Payable app scoreboard.
Yeah, Team Canada has to be happy with this. They want to finish this round robin strong, and they're battling both France and the conditions. Of course, both teams battling the conditions here thus far, and you can't ask for much more if you're the Canadian women looking to move to 2-1 in the Vision Glass Toronto standings, which they would do so with a victory. And I don't think this is a particularly surprise, obviously, given the experience level of these teams, David, but what's been key for you for Canada so far?
Oh, just class with the ball, and certainly they know what to do with it when they get it. Experience in the game. There's nothing that can. Experience is very important in a game like this, and certainly they've shown that so far here in this game.
No question about that. Again, Team Canada does have the advantage on the Payable app scoreboard. 5-9, 39, no score for the French. It is day 5 of the Transatlantic Cup, day 3. Last day of round robin competition for the women. Canada ahead 39-0 at the half. You are watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, produced by eThere Live at Colonel Samuel Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, being streamed on YouTube courtesy of AFL Canada.
AFL has huge potential, not only in Colombia, but also Latin America. And Orica is really excited to be part of that story.
Los lazos humanos entre Colombia y Australia son de una importancia altísima. Para ambos países el deporte es algo muy importante en la vida. Tenemos las culturas muy similares en este sentido, con los valores de equidad de género, de participación. En la cancha todos somos iguales.
Mi vida siempre se basó en el tema del deporte, porque el deporte a mí me salvó de todo aspecto posible, que normalmente en la juventud no. El tema de alcohol, de vicios y demás, a mí llegó a mi vida fue el deporte. En el 2019 tuve un accidente de tránsito donde las oportunidades de volver a tocar una cancha eran nulas. Aún los médicos me dicen, tú cero deporte, cero correr, jugar, saltar, deportes de contacto. Siento que mi familia en esa parte forma un pilar importantísimo. Mi mamá estuvo conmigo y me cuidó como nadie lo hizo, porque era la que tenía y se aguantaba la de mamá, no quiero a nadie en este momento.
AFL Colombia has the potential to have long-lasting impacts in the communities. Entonces, Alejandro, Oscar y Estefanía, we chose these players as the future leaders because they showed throughout the selection process and throughout their time in the organisation that they are future leaders and they are really focused on developing others.
La idea es crecer aún más, estar en un nivel alto para así poder llegar y enseñarle a todos a mis compañeros.
Para mí la beca es una oportunidad enorme, una oportunidad que no se le presenta a cualquiera, una oportunidad que ya tenía mi nombre destinado en ello. Voy a vivir siempre agradecida con este deporte porque me dio una luz, porque yo vivía mi vida después del accidente, vivía mi vida, pero no era feliz. Cuando conocí el deporte y empecé a jugar de nuevo, y vida está de testigo, mi vida cambió.
That's the culmination of a lot of work for a lot of people. A heap of people have contributed to this, and it's great to see them living out their dreams, and we're all very excited for them, and it's going to be great.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
Patrick O'Neill alongside David Smith as we are here with third quarter action at the 2024 Transatlantic Cup. Team Canada and Team France. Team Canada had 5-9-39. No score France at the Payable lap scoreboard. Canada in white, France in red. Canada with red shorts, France with blue shorts. As Canada will be kicking towards Toronto in this third quarter. Mississauga.ca. Visit Mississauga.ca is the end that France will be kicking towards again. Third and final round robin contest for each of these teams. It is day 5 of the tournament, day 3 of the women's component. Men will take center stage tomorrow as a ball up at center goes to David Smith.
As the ball up, start the third quarter as Canada leads by 39. Canada again with the early possession. Kick towards just outside the forward 50 arc. It's bouncing, just kicked off the ground. Again, more soccering by both teams. There's a quick tackle by Duracell of the Paris Cockerels, but that was unfair, and that will be a free kick to number 22 guard. There's a kick towards forward 50, no mark there. French defending hard. They've had to do a lot of in this game. Off hands for Minchin. France clears it out. Going towards it is Dunn. Picked up and tackled right away, and there's a whistle. Oh, free kick given to France, holding the ball.
Now, holding the ball leads to a free kick here as we're just getting going in this third quarter of play. It is a free kick for Team France as the ball will be marched up. Looks like we've got a 50-meter penalty here, so that will push the French up the field closer to the Visit Mississauga.ca. And who wouldn't want to visit Mississauga with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events? It is yours to explore, and the French are exploring the Visit Mississauga.ca end here, just outside the 50-meter arc.
See if France can get their first points in this game. They certainly need more than one kick here. Call play on. Gets it to, though. There's a ball to Simoneau. Trying to go through is France. Tackling pressure for Canada. Very well done here. The defenders really haven't had a lot to do so far in this game, but France is keeping possession, but Canada's not giving them a lot of room. There's a handball, and that's cleared towards midfield. That ball bounces past Helinski. There, that mark is dropped for France. Going backwards to go forwards. There's a tackle, and that's holding the ball, and a free kick for Canada at midfield. This will be, not sure who got that. But anyway, it'll be free kick here at midfield. Far into the field, towards the Lake Ontario side. That's even farther towards it, and that's a mark, so that's... There's a high kick towards, and a mark by number 26, Jen Minchin. There's a kick towards forward 50. Can't mark that one. Good. Defense for France holding, and actually they get a free kick and should relieve the pressure for France here in their defensive 50.
Yeah, defensive 50 free kick for Team France as the ball kicked along the left part of the field, opposite of our E-There live broadcast location. Hands are up, balls along the ground now as the French player trying to battle for it again. Tough to do. It's tough to pick up the ball. I think the rain may have waned off a little bit. Obviously, the rain all hasn't dried from the field, even if there wasn't any rain in the sky. Here's a kick for the Canadian centering kick, and it's intercepted. Nice mark. Could be a contender for the Payable last mark of the tournament for the French player as we have 3.5 gone here in this third quarter. 14 minutes or so to play. Not right. Do you have eyes on the player, David? Can you identify her?
I believe it was Catherine Galche, I believe. Kicked just outside the defensive 50, but picked up by Canada. On the ground again, ball's seeing the grass a lot in this game. Not surprising given the wet, and it's another free kick again for Galche. She hit Alinsky on the mark for Canada. Galche, the kick that goes over a lot of hands and picked up by Canada. Kick towards goal off the Canadians' hands. Going towards the boundary. It's kept in. Turn around and kicked. Again finds grass. And the French defense holds and kicks it towards midfield. Bunch of players there. Here is Gaillard. Handballs it. That goes to a pack of players. And that is held as Del Commune holds the ball. So here will be a ball up. Midfield. Again on the ground. As I say, kept it a lot. Acquired by Ducot. Gets it towards the Mississauga end, but Canada clears up and kicks it long, and there's a up, but can't get the mark, and there's a tackle. Ball just outside the 54 arc, and that will be a free kick for Canada.
Free kick Canada indeed, as you said, just outside the forward 50 arc, backing up into that center square as the Canadian player. It's kicked along the right side. Nice clean mark. Shallow forward 50 entry for Team Canada. That is going to be Aaron Loughlin, who'd marked the ball a moment ago. He's got another mark, does Aaron Loughlin. Kick into the contest, out towards the goal square. Ball's on the ground. Umpire will let the players figure it out. And as I say that, we hear the whistle go as we're coming up on 6 minutes into this third quarter play. Canada 5-9, France no score in the Payable app scoreboard. Ball up by the umpire as it's tapped forward by the French player as they try to march down the field. Handball option not executed properly. Now the ball finds its way on the ground. Canadian legs try to kick that ball forward. Of course, Canada kicking towards the Toronto end in this third quarter. They had a lot of success doing that in the first quarter. Looking for more of that here in the third, the quote-unquote premiership quarter. Ball on the ground, and we get another umpire whistles. We're getting a little bit of that disjointed action in the wet weather that David was talking about earlier.
Absolutely. Here'll be a free kick for France. So a bit of pressure relief perhaps here for them. Good kick, but off hands just outside the forward 50 arc. Picked up by Smith, Amanda Smith. And there's a tackle, and certainly not a lot of room here in this third quarter. Lots of players around the ball. Certainly, Jesus, lots of empty field here if it's not around the ball. 19, that's Patricio. Kick by Canada towards the pocket. Chasing after it is Longden. Towards the boundary, there's a tackle. Ducks under Holinski's tackle. Picked up by Kleinbub. Ball now, France clears it from Janine. And that goes towards the boundary, and that will be a free kick to Canada as it's off the French boot. Between the arcs, with the women's game, if the ball goes off a kick or a handball between the forward 50 arcs, or between the arcs, it is a free kick to the opposition. There is a player down, I believe, for France in their defensive 50. Oh, sorry, it is a Canadian player.
Yeah, it took a second to spot that. Good eyes by our colleague Peter Holden in the booth. I don't know if the umpires had spotted it now either, but it looks like the player's up and walking, which is good to see. So play will continue on as we have a French free kick right beside the AFL Ontario scoreboard. Of course, this field is a home to a number of teams in that competition. Ball bouncing around here as Team Canada try to get it on the move. A rare France inside 50 here as they're trying to visit Mississauga.ca as the ball will be
Yain?
Yes, kicked towards the 50, and Canada will take possession. I think that was Halliday booting it. On the run, lead not executed as Canada will watch as the French kick it back towards the forward 50. That was Roxanne Besner that was down on the field earlier for Canada, and said she's coming off on her own, so that's a good sight to see as the Canadians are on the move. It's a booted forward, and possible mark completed. No, again, perhaps a little bit tougher to pull in those marks. The jumpers start getting wet, ball's wet, so both teams battling that condition, of course. And ball out the back, handled by Brant Caddy. Ball now on the ground as the Canadian women try to march forward here as we're in this third quarter of play. That's at Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Toronto. Brant Caddy now with the ball. Will back up, use the back handball option. Again, going out the back. Canada was trying to go backwards there to go forward, but the play is whistled. 8:31 left in the third quarter. Canada 5-9, 39, no score France.
There's a free kick to Brancati. She's normally a good use of the ball, so certainly a good Canadian to have possession of it. Should be a forward 50 entry. Long, low kick.
right towards the hot spot. It goes towards Bellefontaine. She can't pick it up. It's going towards the goal square. It's kicked, and that will be a behind as it's right of the goal post.
Yeah, Amanda Irwin's having a lot of the ball. Hasn't had the best luck in terms of kicking, but those points add up, and doing some good work is Amanda Irwin. And that helps Canada push their lead to 5-10-40 to no score on the Payable app scoreboard. Will be a goal kick for France following the behind. Of course, this is game 1 of 3 games today here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Toronto at Humber College. As day 5 of the Transatlantic Cup ball goes out of bounds. It looks like the umpire will claim it. No, pardon me, that might have been an out on the full. Waiting to see what the umpire does with the ball. It is a boundary throw-in.
Boundary throw-in in the Toronto end. The Canada forward end in this third quarter. It's up. Off the hands. France still trying to defend. That's the kick towards, and that'll be left of all the posts, and that will be another boundary throw-in. I believe it bounced before it went over. So it's deep in the Canadian forward end as they're trying to extend their lead, currently at 40-0. Here's the ball up. It bounces. Smart play by Bellefontaine. She wasn't the ruck, so she can't touch it first until it touches the ground. Now here's a kick by Gaillard. And Bellefontaine has it, but has to contend with 3 French defenders. Ball on the ground. It just bouncing around. There seems to be everybody in the field around the ball. You can name everybody on the sheet for being around the ball there, it seemed. And it'll be another ball up.
Yeah, more people in the contest, the harder it is for any of them to get the ball. As it's pawed forward by Team Canada, now kicked out of trouble, temporarily at least, by the French. And that is a nice free kick that will help alleviate some of the pressure here. Defensive 50, free kick goes skyward. Again, that's just to get it out of trouble kick, and don't know how much was achieved there as Hussein is able to pick it up for Canada. Handball option executed now. It's kicked forward by Baker. Ball going into the 450. It's onto French legs now, kicked and intercepted in the hands of Julio Patricio. And she'll have a free kick. Patricio plays for the High Park Demons, Toronto-based team. And also has played ice hockey for Toronto Metropolitan University. Of course, they play at the old Maple Leaf Gardens.
Just under 5.5 minutes left here in this third quarter. Canada leads by 40. Goes back to Patricio, and that kick it's a intercept mark by France, and they can at least temporarily relieve the pressure. We've had to do a lot of defending here in this game. Certainly been Canada's control for the whole 3 quarters we've had so far here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park. That's at the midfield. And there'll be a free kick for France, so that will give them an opportunity to kick towards the end of the ground that they want. Here's a kick, not really a good one. Can't be picked up by Sebeno. And there's another whistle. Been lots of whistles in this game. Lots of ball ups as well. The umpires certainly have had their work cut out for them, I'd say, in this one. Umpires Daniel Wild from Great Britain and Milo Lombardi from USA doing the field umpiring in this one. As number 24, Isabelle Kleinbub, to number 22, Gaillard. Canada, especially handballs, getting it going forward, but France defending. There's number 99, Pigney. And they pick it up, and it's kicked down the line.
That ball bouncing along the boundary right next to our There live broadcast location. Nice of the women to bring the action here so we can see the sights and hear the sounds of the game as the ball will go just outside. And that's why you can hear the whistles so loudly, is because they're right next to our location. So again, that's one of the great things about Aussie football, hearing the sound of the game, hearing the players communicate, hearing the umpires adjudicate, as we will get a boundary throw in here right in front, exactly in front of our There live broadcast location. Hands are up, nice tap there by the Canadian player Amanda Smith as the ball is along the ground. Canadian hands will pick it up. It's another Amanda Irwin, and she had nowhere to go there. Great pressure by Emile Grossier, who plays in Paris. as many of the French women on this team do. Ball tapped there by Canada off the ruck. Canadians doing a good job in the rucking contest, as not a lot of space out there, but it's booted across. Centering kick, and it's completed. The mark is completed by Alana Richardson of the Ottawa Swans. Switch to the right side of the field. Mabel Dunn is after it now for Team Canada. On the right side, booted nicely. Could be a nice mark, and it is for Team Canada's Aaron Loughlin.
Loughlin probably too far to score. We'll see what she does here. She kicks it. Nice high kick. Not far enough. Off hands. French defending. Just to the left of the scoring area. Canada picks up, quick kick, and that doesn't get far enough. Off hands. Here, all kinds of players around the ball. Will they do a rush behind France? And it looks like they do. So that will be Canada's 41st point on 5 goals, 11 behinds. 41 points to no score for France on the Payable app scoreboard.
Yeah, good work with the last line of the French defense there. That could have been a Payable apps goal of the tournament for Aaron Loughlin, but it was spoiled. And first score in a while here, a game as the field and conditions are drying up, the offense drying up a little bit, which is a little bit surprising. That's not usually how that works. Nice mark there by Loughlin again. Ball going way up skyward, and that will bounce. And did that go through? And the French claiming that is not a goal. I don't know if that was even a minor score. Didn't see the umpire put the flag out, so the score stays the same. Ball will go along the right side of the field for Team France. Ball bouncing and dribbling here as it's on the ground. Who's going to be able to pick it up? Team Canada out the back as they're looking to keep the offense going here in the forward 50. As kicked around the corridor, key intercept mark for Team France, and that'll be booted out of trouble there by Michon.
Still in the Canada forward 50. France continues to defend. Kicks it, but right into Canadian hands. That's to Amanda Smith. No relation to me.
Well, that's why she has skill on footy, David. I couldn't resist.
Absolutely. That's also a 50-meter penalty, so this will give them a good opportunity to get their 6th goal. Right dead in front. And she'll go back. During halftime, we had visits by both Canada Geese and Ducks, so I think that's a comment on the weather here today in Colonel Samuel Smith Park. Kick away, and it's high up, and it looks like it is a behind, so couldn't kick it straight, but Canada still with the 42-point lead. Certainly had the height, but not the direction. Here's the kick. Out by France. Yanine attempting at it, and there's the horn, a little bit ahead of our clock, but of course ours is unofficial to end the 3rd quarter. On the Payable app scoreboard, it's Canada 5 goals, 12 behinds, 42 points to no score for France.
Indeed, Canada holding that lead at 3rd quarter time. Perhaps the French happy to contain and minimize a bit the damage for Team Canada in that quarter. But again, the Canadian women executing as they need to do. Final day of round-robin play for both of these teams. Again, Canada with a 42-0 edge at 3-quarter time. You're watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup from Colonel Samuel Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario. Produced by eThere Live, streaming on YouTube, courtesy of AFL Canada.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit aflcanada.com and find a club near you today.
Patrick McNeil back here with you alongside David Smith at Colonel Samuel Smith Park as Team Canada taking on Team France. Final day of women's action in the round-robin portion of the Transatlantic Cup as Canada leads 5 goals, 12 behinds, 42, no score. France, Canada limited to just the 1 goal in that quarter, but obviously 5 throughout the game. David.
Amanda Irwin with her 3rd goal of the tournament. You see the Canadian huddle. They'll be happy with this lead, I would say. They don't want any dramatics after 2 very dramatic games here in the pool part of the tournament. They've done what they've had to do to get the 42-point lead, and you would think this will be a very high mountain to climb for France to get back into it. So they're just going to want to play good fundamental footy, not get into any bad habits, and continue to do basically what they've been doing in this game, I would say.
Yeah, it's all about execution. At this point, obviously, France knows, barring a miracle comeback, they'll be playing in placement games. Canada, of course, it would depend on the scoring of the other games going on. Also, I wanted to shout out former Northern Lights player Kendra Howell, who's watching, very accomplished in Canadian footy.
Absolutely. Played some footy in Australia at the VFL level. WVFL, I believe, is the... Or VFLW, excuse me.
Yes, and likely a AFLW.
So many letters, and you're going to put them in the right order. AFL Ontario, Ontario AFL. We've messed that up a whole bunch here during the tournament. Here's the ball up to start the 4th quarter. And again, the ball to ground. Seen that a lot in this game. And Canada with the early possession, but not for long. There's a whistle again. This will be a free kick to France. Number 38, Joanne Emin. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. Canada, though, gains possession. Kick towards us, in front of us here. This is Merrigan. Merrigan, that bounces off of Irwin. And Canada gains possession. Kick towards the pocket, over the head of Lochnan. But she can run and pick it up. She turns the kick. That's going to be towards the goal square. It bounces on the ground. Canada can pick it up. Here is Irwin, kicks towards goal. She likes it. The whole Canadian team likes it. And that is a half dozen goals for Canada.
Yeah, Amanda Irwin becoming more of a factor as the tournament goes on. A certain presence out there for Team Canada. Very symmetrical scoreline. Canada 6 goals, 12 behinds, 48. No points for the French. That's courtesy of your Payable apps. Scoreboard. Payable apps tournament title sponsor, helping sports teams simplify the collection through their Google add-ons. Payment solutions company that provides various add-ons allowing payment to be made via credit card inside of a Google form or Google Sheets. Of course, many contenders that will help Amanda Irwin's case, though, to be the Powerwood Game MVP. Powerwood have donated hand-carved trophies for Game MVP for each game. Powerwood.com. Learn more about that.
Her 2nd goal of the game and 4th of the tournament to tie Nicole Robertson for the goal-kicking lead for Canada. And here it goes back to the Visit Mississauga.ca end. Canada is still with territorial advantage here in this game. France defending, though, hard, and that's kicked out of the forward 50, but it's going to come right back in, and that's off of the hands of the French player. Again, lots of players around the ball. Canada is able to pick it up. Kicking towards the goal square.
As a ball in dispute here, Team Canada has an opportunity, blasted through, and heard the whistle there as that was Aaron Lochnan that was trying to blast that ball through the uprights, or the poles, I should say, but
it'll be a free kick to France. So they will get, again, a little bit of relief, if possibly only temporary. The ball's certainly been in their defensive end of the field for most of this game. That's a bouncing ball to, again, a pack of players. Certainly not a lot of room around the ball during this game. So that's Holinski on the ruck. Does get a hand on it, but it is another free kick given to the French.
Yeah, France free kick in the defensive 50, kicked along the right boundary, goes dribbling along. Again, we're in the fourth quarter of play here. Canada had 48-0 final round robin game for both of these teams. And the top two in each group go on to the semifinals. The third place team will get an opportunity to play the third place team in the other group, and then there'll be further placement games and whatnot. Ball on the ground here as there'll be an umpire intervention to throw the ball up with 13:43 left according to our score clock, which is usually reasonably accurate, if not exact. Ball tapped forward by Team Canada towards the forward 50. Ball's up in the air, goes bouncing around as we've got some congestion there in the field. Ball's on the ground still, and who's going to be able to free it out? Will anybody be able to get it out as Elena Richardson of the Ottawa Swans, who's a soccer goalkeeper making her Team Canada debut, one of the players who's trying to get it out, and the umpire will end up getting the ball in the end.
Just outside the forward 50 yard for Canada. That's Amanda Smith, I believe, with the hit. Can't get it too much farther. And France number 8, Yanine. But Canada kicks it towards the forward 50. That mark is dropped. And Richardson gets it forward. Kick towards the goal square. It's bouncing, but that's put through by Dula Kama. I've probably pronounced that incorrectly, to be fair. So that's another behind for Canada. And France will try to clear. Kind of walking down the wing, but perhaps she went too far. And this could be a free kick to Canada. You're not allowed to go with the ball for more than 15 meters without the ball touching the ground. So this will be a chance at goal again for Canada.
Yeah, a rule that keeps the flow of the game going. And I can assure you, if those bounces look easy, they are not. Nice mark by the Canadian player. Looked like that might have been Lockton again.
Lockton does have the ball, yeah, and this should be a good opportunity at another goal. Perhaps lucky 7 goals for Canada, we'll see. And they leg it off the boot, and indeed, a lucky 7 for Canada. And that's 7 goals, 13 behinds, 55 points. France no score on the Payable Apps scoreboard.
Nice kick from Erin Lockton, who I think deserves a goal the way she's played today, creating offensively for Team Canada, and a just reward to get that 7th goal for the Canadians. Lucky 7 indeed. Again, Canada looking to finish this round robin portion strong. Again, if you look at the Vision Glass Toronto tournament standings, Canada would move to 2-1. Of course, Vision Glass Toronto GTA exotic car experts, auto glass, convertible tops, and sunroofs. VisionGlassToronto.com.
Erin Loughlin, her 2nd goal of the tournament. She's from the Etobicoke Kangaroos, so she would be very familiar with this field. We are in Etobicoke, but you should visit Mississauga, because Mississauga is yours to explore. So we have just under 11 minutes left here in the game. There's a hit out by Canada, and there's another whistle. This will be a free kick here to Carolyn Leduc, fellow member of the board of directors of AFL Canada. Nice ball, but through the hands. Canada does gain control at Merrigan. But there's a whistle, and this will be, it'll be a free kick for Merrigan. The kick towards the visitmississauga.ca end. And that's off hands. Chasing after it is Canada, and all by herself, but it went through her legs was Holinski, and that allowed France to defend. And this looks like a free kick to the defender of France, De La Commune. Again, probably pronouncing that wrong. Here's a kick. High up, doesn't go very far. A lot of players around the ball, as it's been a lot in this game. Kicked on the wing, off of Canadian hands, picked up by Ouvre, and there's a tackle, and that will do a stop. It'll result in a stoppage in play.
Ball will be up here, very close to our there live production stage. Great job by the people at there live, bringing you the moving pictures you are seeing today on the AFL Canada YouTube channel. As ball is along the ground, still in dispute. As Hussein among the players that's trying to pick that up. And ball will end up being pushed via handball out as the Canadian women marching towards the goal squares. Ball will be picked up by the French, and it's turned over promptly to Team Canada. Nice duck and cover there by Loughnane. Was able to protect the ball quite well, and it goes bouncing off to the other side of the field. Some number 5-on-5 action there, tackling, and it's going to be picked up by the Canadians. And brought to ground there was Team Canada's Marlena Holinsky of the Burnaby Eagles. That didn't have a lot of opportunity to do anything with that as the ball still remains in play. And seeing a lot of the game along the ground, and we hear the umpire's whistle. That usually means they are about to take the ball.
Just left of the posts. Canada deep in their forward part of the field. See if they can gain control. Off the mark, it looked good for Canada, but France is able to gain control and gets it away. It's going to possibly come right back, though. Here is Kleinbub. Bounces the ball to Merrigan. That's a handball, and there's another whistle. So this will determined to be holding the ball, or that, or didn't dispose of it properly. But regardless, that is a free kick to Michon from the Paris Cockerels. Kick bouncing to number 5, Simoneau. Tackled by number 2, Gaillard. And the whistle goes, and it's a free kick given to Gaillard. Kick towards and that's a nice mark there by Bellefontaine. We both know how she can mark a ball. So she's going back. See if she's gonna kick for goal. She has a pretty good kick on her. Probably about 30 meters from goal. Nope, goes short. Nice low ball. Can't mark it though, was Irwin. Canada still gaining control. And that will be another ball up.
Want to mention as well the French captain, Clotilde Decaux. Decaux had to come off the field. Of course, the blood rule in effect, and it looks like it's a little blood on the nose. Doesn't look too worse for wear, but she has to come off the field before that can be cleared up. She'd have to get taped up or whatnot, so the blood's not visible. So we'll keep our eye on the French captain returns to action. She's just going to the tent there that's located to the right of our either live broadcast location. As we are going to get a boundary throw in here from the umpire. Deep in the defensive 50 for the French. Ball thrown up, and hands are up for both sides, and it's going to be France that gets it, only temporarily, though, as we hear the umpire's whistle again. Looks like a free kick may have been awarded to Team Canada.
It will be probably too far to score, but just a kick from about 40 out, to a pack of players. Fontaine in there, picked up by number 31, Ines Apley. And that's kicked over the line. And I believe it was out on the full, and Canada will get a free kick. So in the forward pocket for Canada. It goes back. Can't take the mark. Canada still following the ball well. That's Patricio. Not going in the right direction for Canada, but they gain control again. Going backwards, hopefully for them to going forwards. Patricio bounces the ball in the forward 50. Picked up by Canada. Succession of handballs. Here's a high kick. Not to the Canadian advantage, but they do get it off the hands, and there's a tackle. Should be a ball up again in the Canadian forward end of the ground.
Yeah, just over 5 minutes left, and just watching, we were talking earlier about the French captain. She's walking by, and just the facial expression, a little bit of pain there, unfortunately, so hopefully that everything's going to be okay there. Of course, we do have a little bit more than 5 minutes left here. Canada 7-13-55, no score France at the Payable lap scoreboard as the ball is kicked by the French in the defensive 50. Nice mark there by Catherine Gaultier. As she'll back up. Assess her options as to what to do. Plays for the Paris Cockerels. Do a number of the women on this French team. Ball on the ground. No clear mark there. And again, Canada doing a good job getting numbers to the contest. 2-on-1. Didn't like the odds there for Lendra Camus. And as a result, look at the ball up.
Amanda Smith in the ruck again. Certainly have had a major height advantage against most of the French players that she's been up against in the ruck. And she gets a free kick here. So the mark right on the 50-meter arc. Of course, she'll be kicking it farther from that. High kick. Nice kick. Off hands. Nobody can mark. There's a kick at goal, but that's certainly well left. And we'll see if this is the no score. It is out on the full. And that will be a free kick for France.
Yeah, to the final 4 minutes of the fourth quarter here. Canada 7-13-55. No score. France. Payable lap scoreboard. Final round robin game of the day for each of these teams. Kick from behind the post by the French women. It will go along the right boundary. Bounces along the ground. It's dribbling, and I think that's going to be a free kick paid to Canada as Canadian player was tackled without the ball. Play on. Nice mark there by Amanda Irwin, and nice proximity to try to kick a goal here outside the goal square. Maybe about 35 meters out. My grade 10 math. I don't know. I'm pretty good at math, but I'm not really great at estimating. So she'll take a crack at goal. It'll come back up through, and that looks pretty good. And the flags are being waved, and it is a behind. So it didn't look as good as it did from here, from our lovely E-There broadcast location. But it is a point for Team Canada. 7-14-56. No score for France.
Canada kicks it in towards number 5, Holinski. She can't pick it up. French still defending, as they've had to do a lot. Bellefontaine going towards the ball. Kept from it by the French player. Kicked by number 8, Amanda Irwin. That again goes well left. Bounces and hits the behind post, so that will be a boundary throw-in deep in the Canadian pocket. Canadian forward pocket. Just under 2.5 minutes left in this game. Canada leads 56-0. In the visitmississauga.ca end, the Canadian forward end of the ground. That goes off hands. Another whistle. And ball given to the Canadian player for a free kick. And see if this is another kick at goal for Canada.
Yeah, opportunity at goal for the Canadians to add to the lead. Further kick through. That's going up. And contest in the goal square. It'll end up scoring behind, and that's another minor score. 7-15-57. No score for France.
Under 2 minutes left here in this game. As Patrick said, 57-point lead for Canada. France will try to clear. It's felt like it's been down the visitmississauga.ca end for about an hour. But it's in the pocket there still. Merrigan has the ball briefly. Picked up and kicked. No Canadian player in that vicinity, but the mark is dropped and the ball goes over the boundary line. Oh, and there seems to be a French player feeling that bump a little bit. Hopefully she's okay.
Yeah, as we are just almost into the final minute with Canada ahead 57-0, and as our colleague Brian Barish would say, not really any time for the French to catch up in this contest, as the ball will be thrown up by the umpire in towards the goal square. It's tapped forward. It comes to French hands. Handballed along the left side of the field. Comes back to the ground. 40 seconds or so. Again, that score clock's not necessarily official, but it's pretty close. The umpire has the final say as to when the whistle will go, as the moving pack will move out towards the 50-meter arc. Ball bouncing and almost looks a little bit rugby-esque there as the ball on the ground. And it actually ends up in Canadian hands. That time ticking away. Of course, the players don't know exactly how much time is left either, but I'm sure they have a rough idea as Canadians try to produce a final score here.
French's is a brand of catch-up, but I don't think it's happening in this one, as we're just within the last 10 seconds of this game. Clock ticking down. Perhaps both teams ready for the horn, as they've had to deal with some rainy conditions here. And there's the horn. So that will end the game, and a win for Canada. Certainly they did what they wanted to do, which is win in a non-dramatic fashion. They probably had enough drama in the first two games, as they had two results where it was less than a goal. But they win this one certainly more handily. 57 to no score for France. So I think the Canadian coaching staff will be happy with that.
Yeah, good result for Team Canada for sure. 7-15-57, no score France on the Payable app scoreboard. Canada gets done what they need to do. They move to 2-1 in the Vision Glass Toronto standings as the Team Canada gets the win. David, we can, take a look at the goal kickers one more time.
Absolutely. 2 multiple goal kickers, Nicole Robertson and Amanda Irwin. They're actually tied for the goal kicking lead for the Canadian Northern Lights with 4 each. Other goal kickers were Filson Hussein, Leo Gaillard, and Aaron Lochton. So a good performance there by Canada. As I say, they'll be happy with that. Certainly happy to get the win. 2-1 in the pool stage of this tournament. And still not 100% guaranteed that they make the semifinals, depending on other results here in the day, but they certainly will be happy with that performance. So Canada 2-1 with a 207 percentage. The United States and Colombia both at 1-1. Certainly the United States with the greater percentage, 280 at this point. But as I say, they both have to play here today on the third round of the women's part of this tournament.
Yeah, great job of the staff either live, getting some great pictures, great camaraderie between the two teams. Of course, you talked about the goal kickers, David. Not all about the goals, though. Some of those women being contention, but lots of choices for the Powerwood MVP.
Absolutely, and I'll give it to you today to see who is the Lockwood MVP.
Well, we talked about goal kicking, but the defense is obviously a big thing when you win at 57-0. No shortage of women who would be in contention, but I think you and I said at quarter time really like the work of Nicole Baker today for Team Canada, the defender from the Toronto Central Blues. Did a bit of pushing up the field as well, and we're not just picking her because of her Muay obviously could whip either of us in a battle, but also very good in the field today. Great work by Nicole Baker, our Powerwood MVP.
Congratulations to her, and congratulations to the Canada Northern Lights. As I say, with the win here today, they're finished the pool stage at 2-1. Certainly hoping they are hoping to be in the semifinals, and one would expect that that's going to happen. But we'll see what happens with the 2 games that are left here today. We'll have Brian Barish and Patrick McNeil coming up next. Am I right?
Peter, I think, is going to be joining me. Brian, you'll get to hear Brian later in the day, though. Don't worry, we're not holding out on you.
All right. Well, it's Ireland and Colombia coming up next, and then Great Britain and the USA to finish off the women's competition in the pool stage of this tournament. And that will be definitely Brian Barish and Peter Holden, who certainly are entertainment personified on commentary.
Yeah, Brian's not going to leave behind his American counterparts. Again, great work by our production staff. Either live, you can hear the Canadian women belting out a victory tune. One of the great parts of Australian football. Again, Canada gets the win, 7-15-57, no score France. This is day number 5 of the Transatlantic Cup, coming to you live from the Colonel Samuel Swift Park in the campus of Humber College, Toronto, Ontario. Produced by Either Live, streamed on YouTube, courtesy of AFL Canada.